Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 23rd. This week, you start off with the Eight of Hearts, which is a card of being social, socializing, and things like that. With this, we still have this kind of like grand earth trinity energy sticking around. So, really, there's no surprise here with this card because, again, with the earth trine and everything, it's about a lot of it, to me at least, a lot of the earth signs have a lot to do with friends and socializing and doing things like that depending on where they are. But so I think there's like a lot of social energy still, maybe even old friends coming back around because we still have all this retrograde energy as well. It's a very interesting time. I find, I've been doing this for like a year now, the videos on YouTube, and when I started because it's like such an interesting time. I think there's like a lot of cool energy. I feel very lucky to be alive during this time as well, and you should too, because again, I don't think there's going to be anything quite like what's going to happen over maybe like the next 100 years. Even it could even be a little bit longer depending on how the energy sticks around, but it's very interesting, and so it's kind of exciting, and that's what this card represents. It kind of represents exciting energy, an exchange of energy, and socialization as well, kind of like I said, so being very social and things like that. I think a lot of you are also thinking about starting new things, like how you can start new projects, how you can start new relationships, how you can, take action on that business you want to start, how you can do all sorts of those things. Five of Diamonds actually does represent a good time to start new things. It does represent a time where you could start something new. So, regardless of this, retrograde energy still, a lot of you could just be kind of starting new things regardless, like I said. And I did a video a couple weeks ago, actually it's almost a month ago now, all about how you shouldn't really let a retrograde stop you from starting something. That doesn't mean things won't change after the retrograde, because they probably will. But, I think there are some benefits to starting things under retrograde as well. So you might want to watch that video in the astrology playlist in my playlists. But this is a card of definitely starting new things. It's also another card of being very social. Fives and eights and tens and are very social cards. It's also a card of being very adventurous, taking more risks, doing anything more adventurous. Fives have a lot to do with adventure, like I said, taking risks, doing things that you've never done before, trying new ideas, being very innovative, and things like that. Five of Diamonds is a card of not settling as well. It's a card of not being okay with not being okay with your situation. I know that was like, wow, that was kind of crazy to say, but it's kind of like realizing that there is something more, that you can have more, and that you want to work towards more. To get there, you might have to let go of something. We have the Ten of Spades coming up next. Ten of Spades is all about letting something go that you're holding on to. A lot of you, usually we know what this is, whatever it is that we're holding on about. It's interesting because the Ten of Spades is a card of grief, but it's a card of being upset because you have to let something go that you don't want to let go of. It's kind of like, maybe letting go of a job that's kept you comfortable during this, during the difficult part of the past several years. But maybe it's like time for you to move on, and maybe you're having a hard time letting go of it. And that's what this card can represent. But it is kind of one of those cards. It's a positive and a negative, kind of all rolled into one, because it is a card of needing to let go of something, maybe being upset about it, but also the outcome is a transformation. Ten of Spades represents transforming and becoming something different, becoming something new. Again, a very exciting card that kind of plays into this very exciting energy, I think, because again, it represents transformation. Five of Diamonds that you had beforehand also represents transformation in a lot of ways. Next, you have the Jack of Clubs, which is you. This is you coming up in your own reading. I always like when that happens because it puts you in a position of power, position of strength, allows you to get what you need, allows you to get what you want. But the Jack of Clubs is all about thinking towards the future and seeing what you want. And I always say, really, the one thing that I preach with this card is that it's about looking at your goals but figuring out every single little piece that you need to do to get there. It's about taking action on your goals as well. A lot of the times this card will come up like when we're setting goals, but maybe we're not working towards those goals. We're not taking the action that we need to take. But it's a very good card. It's a card of being friendly as well. It's kind of like another card that also represents that this week could be very social for a lot of you Aries out there. Next, you have the Ace of Diamonds, which is a very good card. Great for money. It's also a great card for keeping your ears open and really listening to people around you, listening to what isn't being said as well, kind of like trying to fill in the gaps. This is the type of card where you could overhear somebody, while you're out in line waiting for coffee, and they could be talking about, needing to hire somebody who does exactly what you do. And then you're like, oh, hey, I do that. This is a card that represents like receiving a message in a lot of ways. At least that's the energy I'm getting from it this week as well. So some of you might need to keep your ears open and definitely pay attention to what's going on around you this week, because you might hear something that could be very beneficial. It's also a card of innovating. It's a card of doing things in new and different ways to get what you want. And it's also a good financial card. But you end with the Nine of Diamonds. So there's definitely some completions this week. Nine of Diamonds is a card of completion and completing things and coming to some sort of ending in a lot of ways. It's a great financial card. It's a great card for looking at your finances as well. How you can make them better. How you can get more finances. And sometimes it's not even needing more finances. It's just needing to be better with whatever you have. And a lot of you could be making decisions under this card. But it's also a card of moving, traveling around, and even planning on doing that. It's also a card of opportunity, so it can represent having the opportunity to get a new job and move or something along those lines. But looks like a really exciting week. So thank you for watching and enjoy.